Hi guys, this is Pratishtha. I hope you're doing good. And in this lesson, we will do the most dreaded speaking task. Speaking task requires a lot of preparation, a lot of practice, because this is the one task that will really be on the spot. And it can have any kind of topic, right? Just like listening, but listening is still doable because it's on paper, right? And you still feel confident, but speaking is something that you would feel a little dreaded about. So we will complete a mock test today, right? And for that mock test, I'll give you sample answers on how your speaking topics should be. With that being said, let me share my screen and see what we have in task for today. So we have a full-length IELTS speaking mock test. We will answer all parts of the speaking test, which is part one, part two, and part three. We will develop some strategies for improving fluency, uh, coherence, and pronunciation. We'll analyze and review performance and identify areas for improvement. So now, what is IELTS speaking test? Again, it consists of multiple parts. It has an introduction and a small interview, right, based on your introduction, just to know you more. You will then have a monologue. And finally, you will have discussion based on that monologue, right? Because that would ask you about your opinion. So you have to give your opinion in that. Strategies would be to be confident, right? That is the best strategy, again, to always be confident. Even if you don't know the answers, just make up the answers, right? And make sure you're natural. Extend your answers. So don't just say yes or no. Always make sure to give some sort of explanation and reason to it. Use a range of vocabulary. Using vocabulary is super important. Make sure you're using a variety of words. Make sure you have a variety of phrases with you. Don't memorize, right? So don't memorize even your introduction. Just, in fact, if you want, you can just memorize the keywords, right? That I want to speak about my work, my education, what I like, what I dislike, things like that. But beside that, don't really memorize stuff, because memorization, if you remember how in childhood we used to memorize answers and it was pretty mechanical, same thing is going to happen again. So don't memorize anything. For part two, I would suggest that it's a monologue. They will give you 2 minutes or 1 minute to prepare. I would suggest plan during that preparation time, right? And make sure you have a structure to it. What you're going to say should have a structure, and just write keywords. Don't write the complete thing, just write keywords. Uh, I would suggest to not take a lot of pauses in between. I mean, your speaking should not be really rushed, it should be natural. It should not be like too fast. You should not speak too fast. You should not speak too slow. But at the same time, I would suggest you to use some fillers, right? If you think you don't understand something or if you have forgotten something, use fillers like, let me think, or instead of saying, don't do that a lot, just keep talking, right? Make sure it's fluent. Then use examples. If you feel that you don't have enough material, just make up a real life example for yourself, but you have to explain every single thing that you're saying in your IELTS test in speaking. For part three, they would basically just ask you again. It would be a little bit more detailed. They would ask you for explanation. So give a detailed answer. Think properly, right? Think properly about your answers, right? It should be good when it comes to demonstration. It should be good when it comes to opinions, and it should reflect that you have thought about it. Use connectors. So again, just like any other, even if it's writing or if it's speaking, make sure you're using connectors. That is important. That really structurizes your writing or speaking or anything. Paraphrase the question. So make sure you are repeating the question again, but not word by word, right? Just try to say it in your own words. Now we have a full mock test. It's just a sample. right? Then we'll go ahead and formulate our answers. So part one is when the examiner will ask candidate about himself, herself, his or her work, studies, and other familiar topics. So essentially, you just have to introduce yourself. You can talk about your name, age, your family. So I will write a list what you can talk about. For everyone, it's going to be different. So name, age, family, born, city, where you live, your work, education, likes, dislikes, hobbies. When you're talking about this, make sure to give an example. Then you can talk about your future plans, right? Then you can talk about your vacation. What do you like to do on your vacation? Then you can talk about if you're vegetarian, non-vegetarian. I mean, these are sort of the things. This should take about 1.5 minutes. When you're talking about any of it, make sure that you're explaining, right? That is pretty much it. Then, for example, the follow-up questions can be, do you usually watch TV programs? What's your favorite TV program? Are there any programs or shows that you don't like watching? Do you think watching do you think you will watch TV more or fewer TV programs in the future? Right? So these can be follow-up questions. So for example, first one, I usually watch TV programs at home on my smart TV or sometimes on my laptop. Watching at home is more convenient and relaxing because I can control the environment. I have access to a wide range of streaming services, so I can watch shows whenever it fits my schedule without being interrupted. So that is pretty much it, right? It's a simple answer. It's just not one line. It's pretty elaborative. What's your favorite TV program or show? Why? My favorite show is Planet Earth, a document series about natural world. I love it because it combines stunning visuals and fascinating facts about wildlife and ecosystem. It's a great way to learn about our planet while being thoroughly entertained. Are there any programs or shows you don't like watching? Why or why not? Yes, I don't enjoy reality shows, especially those that focus on drama and conflict, like The Bachelor. I find them repetitive and not intellectually stimulating. They often exaggerate human interaction to create entertainment, which can be annoying after a while. Do you think you will watch more TV or fewer TV programs or shows in the future? Why or why not? I believe I'll watch fewer TV shows in the future as I get busier with work and personal commitments. I may also not have as much time to dedicate to watching long series. Also, I feel that I prefer more selective viewing now, focusing only on content that is truly enriching or educational. That was your part one. That's it. Part two is a monologue. This one is for 2 minutes. You have to speak for 2 minutes. You have 1 minute preparation time. You need to make sure that all these points are covered, right? So describe someone you know has started a business. Who is this person? What work he does? Why has this person decided to start a business? Or with and explain whether you would like to do the same kind of work, right? One person I know who has started a business is my friend Sarah. She runs a small cafe in our local area that specializes in healthy organic food. Sarah has always been passionate about nutrition and sustainable eating, so she decided to open her own business 3 years ago. Right? So you have given a description about who and why and what kind of business it is. So the cafe has a very welcoming, community oriented atmosphere, and Sarah does a lot of work herself. She's involved in everything from managing the finances to designing the menu and even helping out in the kitchen during busy times. Sarah decided to start this business because she wanted to create something that aligned with her values and interest. She had been working in corporate jobs for many years, but she wasn't satisfied with the lack of creativity in her role. Her decision to open a cafe was also driven by her desire to promote healthy eating habits in her community. As for me, while I admire Sarah's dedication and passion, I don't think I would want to do the same kind of work. Running a cafe requires a lot of time and energy, and I prefer a job where I have more regular hours and do not have to manage so many aspects of a business. That said, I truly respect her for following her dreams. So even if it's a no, you should be able to explain why, and it's completely okay to say no, right? And that was your monologue. Topic three would be, something related to your previous topic. It can, of course, it does not have to be the same thing, like exactly the same thing. It can be a little varied. So choosing work, what kind of jobs do young people not want to do in your country? Who is best at advising young people about choosing a job, teacher or parents? Is money always the most important thing when choosing a job? Then work life balance. Do you agree that many people nowadays are under pressure to work longer hours and take less holidays? What is the impact on society of people having a poor work life balance? Could you recommend some effective strategies for governments and employers to ensure people have a good work life balance? Now, let's start. What kind of jobs do young people not want to do in your country? In my country, many young people tend to avoid jobs that are considered physically demanding or monotonous. Monotonous means boring, such as factory work or agricultural labor. These jobs often come with long hours, lower pay, and limited opportunities for career growth, which makes them less appealing compared to other jobs in sectors like technology and finance. Then you have who is best at advising young people about choosing a job, teachers or parents. I believe both teacher and parents play an important role in advising young people, but in different ways. Teachers can provide more objective, career focused advice because they are often knowledgeable about educational and professional pathways. On the other hand, parents know their child's strength, interests, and personality better and can offer more personalized guidance. Ideally, a combination of both perspectives is most beneficial. Is money always the most important thing when choosing a job? No, I don't think money should always be a top priority. While a good salary is important for financial security, factors like job satisfaction, work life balance, and personal growth are equally crucial. If a job doesn't align with the person's value or interest, it can lead to burnout or dissatisfaction, even when it's well paid. Long term fulfillment comes from finding a balance between income and passion. Then you have about work life balance. Do you agree that many people nowadays are under pressure to work longer hours and take less holidays? Yes, I agree. In today's competitive work environment, many employees feel compelled to work longer hours to meet deadlines, achieve targets, or maintain job security. With the rise of technology, work has become more accessible, and people often find themselves checking emails or working outside regular office hours, which reduces their time for relaxation or holidays. What is the impact on society of people having a poor work life balance? A poor work life balance can have numerous negative effects on society. It can lead to a higher level of stress, mental health issue, and physical health problems like heart disease or fatigue. On a broader level, it can affect family dynamics as people have less time to spend with their loved ones. This could ultimately decrease overall happiness and productivity in the long term. Could you recommend some effective strategies for government and employers to ensure people have a good work life balance? Government and employers can introduce policies that encourage a healthier work life balance. For example, government could mandate more flexible hours or require companies to provide paid family leaves. Employers could also implement remote working options, including well being programs, or promote a culture where employees are encouraged to take regular breaks and holidays. Additionally, limiting after work hour communication could help ensure employees disconnect and recharge. So, again, this is something that comes with practice. These are some sample answers. You can try to practice speaking the same thing, or you can create your own sample answers and try and practice that speaking on the spot. Some common mistakes in your speaking exam is giving too short answers, right? So make sure that your answers are not too short, right? It's explained. Do not speak too quickly. Make sure your pace is regulated and you're not just speaking really quickly, right? Do not paraphrase, right? So make sure you're not paraphrasing anything. Um, oh, sorry. Again, I got a little confused. So you need to make sure you're paraphrasing the question at least so that the other person knows that yes, you are staying on the topic. Do not overuse fillers. Again, and are natural, but don't try to say them a lot. And that's pretty much it. Um, some tips would be you need to practice regularly, record yourself, focus on your pronunciations, and that comes with recording. When you will record and listen to yourself, you'll be able to see where you are lagging and learn new vocabulary. That is pretty much it. After doing your task, I would suggest you review your result, mark yourself for fluency, coherence, vocabulary, and pronunciation. These are 4 different categories you need to mark yourself on. And I would suggest a recap of today's lesson would be doing a full length test. We did that. We discussed some common mistakes and tips, right? We analyzed and reviewed test results. Your homework could be to practice at least 1 or 2 speaking tests and record yourself, bring it back, and I would say evaluate yourself properly. With that being said, IELTS speaking really requires a little bit of practice because you need to have that habit of speaking, right? You need to be confident in your speech. So I would suggest just practice hard and you should be able to get there. And I'll see you in the next class.